This is the 3D VIEW-MASTER story Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. VIEW-MASTER Reel 1. Picture 1. It was when I, Jim Hawkins, was 13 that the brown old seaman with the scar on his cheek came to the Admiral Benbow Inn, kept by my widowed mother. He whistled to himself as his sea chest was brought along behind him in a hand barrow, and broke out in an old sea song, as he did so many times afterwards. 15 men on a dead man's chest, yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. Picture 2. He was a very silent man, except when, as often happened, he had more rum than he could handle. Then he would sit and sing his wild, wicked sea songs and tell me dreadful stories of pirates on the Spanish Main. Captain Bones was watchful of strangers and paid me a 4-penny piece a month to watch for them. But he would not give my poor mother what he owed for the many months' lodgings he spent at our inn. Picture 3. Early one evening, a blind beggar came to our parlor door. When I opened it, he grabbed my arm in a painful grip and said in a cold, cruel voice, "Take me to the captain." I could not get free from him, and was so terrified of this beggar that I forgot to be afraid of the captain. Captain Bones jumped to his feet, pale and sick with fright. The beggar forced a black spot into his hand and left, finding his way out with surprising accuracy. "They're coming for me in 6 hours, cried the captain, looking at the spot. "But we'll beat them yet." What he intended to do was never known, for he reeled and fell dead of apoplexy. Picture 4. Since he owed my mother money, we opened his sea chest to take what was our just payment. There were only small things of little value on top, but under an old sea cloak in the bottom was a map of an island with latitude and longitude marked on it, names of hills and bays, and a cross in red ink with the words, "Bulk of treasure here." It was signed by the famous pirate Captain Flint, who had been caught and executed. Picture 5. Upon hearing the blind man and others returning, we slipped out and took the treasure map to Dr. Livesey, my mother's adviser and friend and squire Trelawney. It filled them with delight. "Livesey," said the squire, "you must give up your practice here at once. In 3 weeks' time we'll have the best ship and the choicest crew in England. Then we'll have favourable winds, a quick passage, and share enough money for all of us ever after. Hawkins will come as cabin boy." Picture 6. As quickly as he had promised, the squire found a ship, the Hispaniola, a captain named Smollett, and a man called Long John Silver as sea cook. Silver, who had lost a leg in the service of the king, wanted to go to sea again. He proved a great help in finding a crew for the ship, and with his pleasant, cheerful manner and his pet parrot that he called Captain Flint, he was a most interesting companion to me. Picture 7. Little more than a month later, we raised anchor and sailed away from England. I was going to sea in a schooner, bound for an unknown island and to seek for buried treasure. VIEW-MASTER Reel 2, Picture 8. The voyage went along pleasantly until one evening at sundown, when we were almost at the island, I climbed into the apple barrel to get one of the few that were left on the bottom. While in there, I heard Silver and some of the crew talking, and would not have shown myself for the world, for he had been a pirate with Captain Flint and was plotting to take over the ship and steal the treasure. Picture 9. When they left, I joined Dr. Livesey, Squire Trevelyan and Captain Smollett in the cabin, and as short as I could make it, told them what I had heard. Captain Smollett advised that they get word to the honest seamen aboard and secure guns and ammunition. Jim, here, can help us. The seamen are not shy with him, and he is a noticing lad. It was in hopes of finding out more that I hid in the bottom of the lifeboat that would be going ashore when the island was sighted next morning. Picture 10. When Captain Smollett ordered the guns and ammunition moved to his cabin, Long John Silver, sensed by, was under suspicion and started to go ashore in a boat with part of the crew. Squire Trelawney came to the rail with a pistol, but Long John had discovered me and used me as a shield. Picture 11. When the boat grounded on the beach near thick woods, I grabbed a branch of a tree and swung myself out. Long John Silver's hand slipped from my shoulder, and so I heard him shouting, "Jim! Jim!" I paid him no heed, but jumping, ducking and breaking through, I ran until I could run no longer. Picture 12. Finding myself at the foot of a little hill, I stopped to rest, and a fresh alarm brought me to a standstill with a thumping heart. A figure sprang in front of me, and I saw it was a strange-looking man dressed in tatters of old ship's canvas and sea clothes. "Who are you?" I asked boldly, remembering that I had stuck a pistol in my belt before leaving the Hispaniola. "Ben Gunn," he answered in a rusty voice. "I've been marooned here by pirates 3 years, without a soul to talk to." Picture 13. On board the Hispaniola, Squire Trelawney, Dr. Livesey, and Captain Smollett talked things over and decided to leave the ship. While Captain Smollett held a pistol on the pirates still on the ship, the others loaded a small boat. Then they locked the pirates in the cabin and were almost ashore when the men broke out and trained the ship's cannon on the defenseless boat. A cannonball crashed into the sea alongside the boat in a great spray of water, swamping it, but happily no one was hurt, and they were close to shore. Picture 14. It was a stroke of great good luck that they discovered a stockade that had been built by Captain Flint, and salvaging some supplies from the boat, they were ready for the pirate attack. Their fire forced the pirates to retreat, and they ran up the British flag in answer to the Jolly Roger, now flying above the Hispaniola. VIEW-MASTER Reel 3, Picture 15. After watching the attack from the hill and being sure our friends were safe, Ben Gunn dragged me into his cave and over a meal of smoked monkey meat told me his story. "I was in Flint's crew when he buried the treasure, and he did away with all that helped him do it but me. Though he escaped Flint, he had been marooned on the island. Gunn showed me a chest of jewels and money, and said slyly, "There's more where that came from, and I'll share it with your friends if you'll take me with you." He would not say more until he had talked with the others, and at my urging went down to the fort. Picture 16. As for me, I borrowed a small boat from Ben Gunn and went out to the ship, determined to recover the Hispaniola from the pirates and hide it for our own escape. Unaware that one of the pirates, Israel Hans, was still in the ship and watching me, I came alongside and cut the hawser, climbing aboard as the ship started to drift with the tide. Picture 17. Drawing a knife, he chased me up the rigging. I pointed my pistol at him, and when he saw it, he whipped his knife back over his shoulder and threw it at me. The blade caught the shoulder of my jacket, and as it jerked me back and pinned me to the mast, the pistol went off and Hans fell from the rigging into the sea. I was unhurt except for a torn jacket. Picture 18. When the Hispaniola was safely hidden, I crept into the fort in the dark, wanting to surprise my friends. In the blackness, I heard the shrill voice of John Silver's parrot and realized with horror that something had happened to my friends and I was surrounded by pirates. A light sprang up, and before I could escape, the pirates had made me their prisoner. John Silver, in a friendly manner, told me that when the ship had disappeared, Dr. Livesey made a bargain with the pirates, trading the treasure map for the right to leave the fort. "Jim, you're a likely lad," he concluded. "Will you join us?" When I refused, the pirates wanted to do me harm, but Silver talked them out of it. "Are we going to waste a hostage?" he asked, and convinced them to hold me prisoner to assure their escape. Picture 19. Next morning, the pirates followed the map to the treasure spot. Captain Silver led me along by a rope tied around my waist. The others carried picks and shovels and their weapons. A skeleton lying in the grass pointed the way. Picture 20. Shouting, running, their eyes burned with greed, the pictures reached the top of the hill and found a great empty hole with only a few boards and 2 coins at the bottom. "2 coins!" roared one of them, "and it's all the fault of these 2. He sprang out of the hole, firing his pistol as he came. John Silver pushed me to the ground, and a bullet whistled over my head. At once a burst of musket fire poured from the bushes and the doctor. Ben Gunn and the others sprang out. The amazed pirates were soon defeated. Picture 21. It was an easy matter to carry the rest of the pirate treasure from where Ben Gunn had hidden it after digging it up to the Hispaniola. Knowing it was gone, the doctor had given the pirates the map and set an ambush. Long John Silver gave himself up to stand trial, while the others were given guns and provisions and left on the island. On the way back, Silver changed his mind and escaped in a small boat, taking with him 2 sacks of gold and his parrot, Captain Flint. I gave him a last farewell, and though he was never heard of again, I often think of this strange companion of my adventure on Treasure Island.